Ever wondered about the intriguing civilization that flourished by the banks of the Nile thousands of years ago? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into the captivating world of ancient Egypt. Picture this, a civilization blooming in the northeastern corner of Africa, centered along the lower reaches of the Nile River more than 4,000 years ago. This was a place of wonder and mystique, where the desert sands whispered tales of gods and pharaohs, of monumental pyramids and enigmatic sphinxes. It was a world of contrasts, marked by the endless cycle of the Nile, where the harsh desert met the verdant river valley, giving birth to one of the most remarkable civilizations in history. This ancient society thrived for over 3 millennia, leaving behind a rich legacy that continues to captivate us even today. So let's embark on a journey through time to discover 10 fascinating facts about the ancient Egyptians. Imagine the sheer effort it took to create the Great Pyramids, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The pyramids of ancient Egypt, behemoth structures that pierce the sky, are a testament to the grandeur and sophistication of the civilization that built them. These iconic structures were not merely architectural feats, but also served a sacred purpose. They were built as final resting places for the pharaohs and queens, the god kings and god queens of ancient Egypt. Each pyramid was constructed with an ambition to reach the heavens. The idea was to provide the pharaohs with a direct path to join the deities in the afterlife. Immortality was a key belief in ancient Egyptian culture, and the pyramids were a reflection of this desire for eternal life. The construction of these pyramids was no easy task. It required careful planning, intricate design, and a labor force that could number in the tens of thousands. The builders were not slaves, as is often mistakenly believed, but paid laborers. They worked in 3-month shifts and were well taken care of, receiving ample food, beer, and even medical attention. The largest and most famous of the pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Giza, stands at a staggering 481 feet tall. Built for Pharaoh Khufu, it was constructed from over 2 million blocks of stone, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. The precision with which these blocks were placed is astounding, given the tools available at the time. The pyramids were also aligned with the stars. The sides of all pyramids run from north to south and east to west, a tribute to the ancient Egyptians' astronomical knowledge. Despite the ravages of time and the harsh desert climate, these pyramids have stood the test of time. They continue to draw millions of visitors each year, inspiring awe and wonder at the capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. The pyramids stand even today, a testament to the engineering prowess of the ancient Egyptians. How did the ancient Egyptians communicate, you ask? Well, they had their own unique and intricate system of writing known as hieroglyphics. This was no ordinary language, but a complex system of symbols and characters that served as the primary form of communication for the ancient Egyptians for over 3 millennia. Hieroglyphics were more than just a means of communication. They were a crucial element of the ancient Egyptian culture and society. From monumental inscriptions on the walls of temples and tombs to scrolls of papyrus, they used hieroglyphics to record their history, religious rituals, and even everyday activities. Each hieroglyphic symbol, or glyph, represented a word, a sound, or an idea. Some depicted objects from their everyday life, like a hand or a bird, while others represented abstract concepts like life or death. The ancient Egyptians combined these glyphs in various ways to express complex thoughts and ideas. This language wasn't just about words and phrases. It was deeply connected to their beliefs and their understanding of the world. For instance, certain glyphs were considered to possess magical properties. They were used in spells and rituals, empowering the written word with a supernatural force. Hieroglyphics were also a status symbol. The ability to read and write them was a privilege held by the elite, the pharaohs, priests, and government officials. These scribes underwent rigorous training to master this intricate language. For centuries, the knowledge of hieroglyphics was lost to the world. It was not until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in the late 18th century that scholars began to decipher this ancient language. The Rosetta Stone was a game changer. It had the same text written in 3 different scripts, including Greek, which was well understood, and hieroglyphics. By comparing the scripts, scholars could finally crack the code. Deciphering hieroglyphics unlocked a treasure trove of information about this ancient civilization. It helped us understand their beliefs, their values, their daily life, and their history. It was like finding a key to a door that had been locked for thousands of years, opening a window into the lives of the ancient Egyptians. Ever been curious about the process of mummification? a unique practice of the ancient Egyptians? Let's dive into this fascinating aspect of their culture. Mummification, in simple terms, was the process of preserving the dead. But for the ancient Egyptians, it was much more than that. It was a sacred ritual, an essential part of their belief in life after death. They believed that by preserving the body, the soul could continue to exist in the afterlife. Now, the process of mummification was a complex one, and it took about 70 days to complete. It all began with purification. The body was cleansed with palm wine and rinsed with water from the Nile. Following this, the organs were removed except the heart. The ancient Egyptians believed that the heart was the seat of intelligence and emotion, and thus it needed to remain with the body. The body was then dehydrated using a type of salt called natron, which was plentiful around the Nile. This step took about 40 days. Once the body was dried, it was stuffed with linen or sand to give it a more lifelike appearance. Then came the wrapping. The body was wrapped in hundreds of yards of linen, with amulets placed in between the layers for protection. Finally, a portrait mask of the deceased was placed over the head and shoulders. This was to help the spirit recognize its body in the afterlife. But mummification wasn't just for humans. Animals were often mummified too, as pets to accompany their owners in the afterlife, or as offerings to the gods. Cats, baboons, crocodiles, birds, a wide range of creatures were preserved for eternity alongside their human counterparts. The mummification process, while macabre to some, was an integral part of ancient Egyptian culture. It reflects their deep-rooted belief in the afterlife and the importance they placed on preserving the physical body for the soul's journey. And today these mummies serve as time capsules, offering us a unique glimpse into the past. They reveal not only the physical characteristics of the ancient Egyptians, but also their beliefs, customs, and way of life. The mummies provide us with a peek into their beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians worshipped multiple gods and goddesses? A pantheon of divinities graced the ancient Egyptian spiritual landscape, but one deity in particular held a place of prominence: Ra, the sun god. Ra was not just a god to the Egyptians, he was the king of all gods, and he was the pharaoh of the divine world. He represented light, warmth, and growth. This made him a key god in the ancient Egyptian culture. Why, you ask? Well, the sun itself was seen as either the body or the eye of Ra, making him the provider of light, life, and warmth to the earth. His significance was such that he was believed to navigate the sky in two solar boats called the Manjet, the boat of millions of years, which took him across the sky during the day, and the Mesektet during the evening. Ra was so important, they believed he renews the sun every day for them. Ever wondered about the rulers of this grand civilization? Let's explore the world of the Pharaohs, the god-kings of Egypt, who held the reins of one of the most fascinating civilizations of the ancient world. Pharaohs were more than mere mortal rulers. They were considered embodiments of divine power, the human manifestation of the gods on earth. Their word was law, and they held absolute power over their kingdom. From overseeing the construction of colossal pyramids to enforcing laws and leading their armies into battle, pharaohs were the heartbeat of Egypt. Some pharaohs left an indelible mark on history. Take, for instance, the boy king Tutankhamun. Ascending to the throne at the tender age of 9, his reign was short-lived, but his legacy is eternal. His tomb, discovered in the early 20th century, was a treasure trove of unimaginable wealth, providing invaluable insights into the lavish lifestyle of pharaohs. Then there's Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, who reigned for 66 years. His reign is marked by extensive building programs and numerous military campaigns. Ramses's statues and monuments dot the Egyptian landscape, standing as silent testimonials to his greatness. And let's not forget Cleopatra, the last of the Ptolemaic dynasty. She is remembered not just for her beauty, but for her political savviness and strategic alliances. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are elements of intrigue and fascination that continue to captivate us even today. But it wasn't all about power and grandeur. Pharaohs were also the spiritual leaders of their people, ensuring the gods' favor by performing rituals and building temples. They were the bridge between the gods and the people, maintaining the cosmic order known as Ma'at. In essence, the pharaohs were the backbone of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Their rule, spanning thousands of years, shaped the course of history, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire awe and wonder. So the next time you gaze upon the pyramids or marvel at the treasures of Tutankhamun, remember the pharaohs, the god-kings who once ruled the sands of Egypt. What was the source of life for the ancient Egyptians? The answer lies in the rippling waters of the Nile, the longest river in the world. This magnificent river, stretching over 4,000 miles, played a pivotal role in the survival and growth of ancient Egypt. The Nile offered a wealth of resources. Its fertile banks provided ample grounds for farming, while the river itself was a bountiful source of fish. Crucially, the Nile served as the primary transportation route, connecting different parts of Egypt and enabling trade, communication, and cultural exchange. Moreover, the Nile's annual flooding was a blessing for the Egyptians. This natural event enriched the soil, making it ideal for growing crops such as wheat and flax. These crops were the backbone of Egypt's economy, feeding its people and fueling trade. The Nile was more than a river to the ancient Egyptians. It was a life-giving entity, deeply embedded in their daily lives and spiritual beliefs. Without the Nile, there would have been no ancient Egypt. What's the story behind the mysterious Sphinx, the guardian of Giza? A question as old as the Sphinx itself, this enigmatic figure has been standing guard for millennia, its inscrutable gaze surveying the Giza plateau. The Sphinx, with its human head and lion's body, is an iconic symbol of ancient Egypt. It's believed to represent the pharaoh Khafra, whose pyramid it guards, embodying his wisdom and might. Its name, Sphinx, comes from the Greek word sphingine, meaning to bind tightly, which perfectly encapsulates its role as a protector of Giza. However, the Sphinx is not just a symbol of protection. It's also shrouded in mystery. For one, its true age remains a subject of ongoing debate. While mainstream archaeologists date it back to the reign of Khafre around 4,500 years ago, others speculate that it could be even older, perhaps dating back to a time when the Sahara was a lush, green land. And then there's the question of its missing nose. Many tales circulate about how it was lost, from Napoleon's soldiers using it for target practice to an outraged Sufi trying to halt the idolatrous practices associated with the Sphinx. Beyond its physical mysteries, the Sphinx also holds metaphysical significance. In ancient Egyptian mythology, it's associated with the sun god Ra, embodying the strength of the lion and the wisdom of the king. It's also linked to the riddle of the Sphinx, a legendary conundrum posed to travelers, the answer to which reveals profound truths about life and death. Despite centuries of study, the Sphinx remains an enigma, its secrets yet to be fully revealed. Its enduring allure lies in these unanswered questions, in the stories it could tell if its stone lips could speak. The Sphinx continues to intrigue us, standing as a timeless testament to the grandeur and mystery of ancient Egypt. It's more than just a monument. It's a bridge to a past civilization, a silent storyteller, a guardian of secrets. The Sphinx continues to intrigue us, holding secrets of the past. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians were also skilled artists? This society, renowned for their architectural prowess, also took immense pride in their art, which was rich and diverse. The Egyptians were masterful sculptors, carving intricate designs from stone, wood, and metal. Their statues were not merely decorative but held deep religious and symbolic significance. The artists of ancient Egypt had a unique style characterized by the simultaneous depiction of different perspectives. For instance, a figure's head would be shown in profile, while the torso was viewed frontally. This style, known as composite perspective, was a hallmark of Egyptian art. In addition to statues and sculptures, the Egyptians also excelled in painting. Their murals, often found adorning the walls of tombs and temples, depicted scenes from daily life, religious rituals, and mythological narratives. These vibrant paintings used a rich palette of colors, each with its symbolic meaning. Their art provides a vivid window into their daily life and beliefs. So, that's a glimpse into the life and times of the ancient Egyptians. We've explored their monumental achievements as pyramid builders, the intricate language of hieroglyphics they developed, and their sacred process of mummification, preserving their dead for the afterlife. We've delved into their religious beliefs, particularly their worship of the sun god Ra. We've met the pharaohs, the all-powerful rulers of Egypt, and we've sailed down the Nile, the lifeblood of their civilization. We've stood before the Sphinx, the guardian of Giza, and admired the beautiful art that they left behind, a testament to their sophisticated culture. These 10 facts are just the tip of the pyramid, so to speak, a mere glimpse into the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian civilization. The ancient Egyptians have left us with a rich legacy that continues to fascinate us thousands of years later.